Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and welcome back to Banished in the town of Cokesville. As, what's he doing? What are you carrying? Okay, he's carrying something. What's he carrying? He's carrying fish. He mined a road and got fish. And that's where fish comes from, ladies and gentlemen. Right, the rest of the town seems to be going alright. It is late autumn, so we're coming into the second winter of this little village here. And I've been thinking of how best to expand from here. Now, I do want to get as much food production as possible. However, we don't seem to currently have the labour to really manage that. Now, I could put 2 more fields down, we have a couple more labourers, but we just don't have enough children in the village yet to become labourers to take over. So, really, it seems like more of a waiting game for now. Let's have a look at how the fishing dock is going. Now, in the previous season, they got 264. Current season, they're at 382. So, they definitely are improving their production. And I believe the same goes here. We've got 96 dried fish. So, not great, but, you know, we're not doing too badly for food. It does look like pretty much everyone has enough food for now. We're definitely getting quite a lot of fruits or rather vegetables here from the gatherer's hut. So we're doing quite alright in terms of food for now. I think we're going to be okay for this winter. But I feel like our natural resources are going to run out very soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of that labour that we have. We're going to grab some of these trees and logs here. I'm going to clear some more space so we get some more resources out of that. And that will help us to have more space to expand, because I think I'm going to grow the village this way, so we get closer to this riverbank. Now, this is the area that we have to work with, because after that we're going to hit that mountain there. So, I think what we could do is start building more housing around this area. Now, I do want to have some sort of distribution, so maybe a market in the middle here. But I'm thinking, instead of just going for the market, what we could have is a sort of specialization of stores. So, while we are going to need everybody equipped with tools, food, and clothing, it does appear that we don't really have the resources just yet to really distribute. Well, one thing, we don't actually have anyone making clothing. We do need a tailor. We don't quite have that yet, so I think what we could do is put one here. Will that get in the way? I don't think I'm going to build anything in that direction, really. If I do, I'll just build it behind these buildings. So we've got that road there that we can make use of, so that's fine. I'm going to put the tailor down there. I'm going to build her back up again. And that tailor is going to use some of that lovely hide that we have somewhere. I believe we have a hunter's cabin. Yeah, we get that leather, and we can make hide coats out of it. So we'll have some clothing for everybody. We won't have the warm coats just yet, but you know, some clothing is better than no clothing in most situations. Now, one thing I've just noticed we don't have as well is a blacksmith. Now, that's going to be a bit of a problem, because we definitely do need one. And we don't have one. So I'm going to put a medieval blacksmith. Now, I'm using the one from the Medieval Town mod, not the one from the base game. And the simple reason is, it doesn't actually take up as much space. And we could even put one in the corner. In fact, I kind of regret not putting it here now. Think about it, that would have been a great spot for it. In fact, I could actually still do that. So I'm going to remove the tailor for now, since we don't have anything down there. And I'm going to put this blacksmith down there instead. So that will go there. We have a medieval tailor as well. So that's great. That will go nicely down there as well. And that gives us space to put the roads down. In fact, I like to put the roads going out before, just so that I've kind of marked that for myself. And that will help us, because we are going to run out of tools very, very soon. And that is going to be a problem if we don't have somebody making those things. So we need to get those resources in. We need to get people building. And they are almost done with that clearing job there. So that should be all good to go. Of course, they are finally starting to put down those roads which I marked out earlier. And that should help everybody get around a lot more smoothly. They are definitely using those tracks. They don't seem to cross over the fields all that much anymore. So I think we're going to be alright with that. Right, so I'm just going to fill in the corners here, because I forgot to do that. And then we should have those roads going, no problem. Of course, all of this will be eventually upgraded to stone roads if we make it that far. I don't know exactly how far this is going to go, and like I said in the first episode, that is... this is a permadeath run, so once everyone dies, well, that's it. So, we may make it that far, we may not, we don't really know at this stage. Had a brief flash of green there. I think the snows were about to stop, but it is early spring now, so I think the snow should disappear fairly shortly. It is still a little bit cold, but hopefully the farmers will be able to get back to work very soon. And we still have a lot of food reserve, which is great. So that's going to be just fine with these fields going as well. I've just noticed we do have 4 labourers, so I think I can risk putting down another crop field. Yeah, so that's going to need a little bit of clearing. And you know what? Let's just put the other crop field down as well. And hope for the best, really. It's a bit weird. We do have a lot of snowfall going on here. But there's no snow on the ground. So it must be quite wet and muddy on the ground there right now. I would hate to imagine what that's actually like. I'm just going to speed things up here a little bit and see how we get along. Alright, so there the blacksmith is ready. So I'm going to assign somebody to that so they can get onto it just in the nick of time as well. We have 4 tools left over. Now this field is going to start growing wheat, which hopefully is going to be useful to us. I don't think we can have this field working just yet though. So this might actually go unused for the time being, unless of course one of these children come of age. In the meantime, I don't think that's really going to work out for us. Although I would like to have this being wheat as well. You know, we're just going to try it and see if we can make it happen. So we have 1 labourer and 1 builder. Probably not the best situation, but maybe food is a little bit more important in this case. With the blacksmith now, of course, making the tools here. Now, we do have a lack of clothing stored, so we are going to need that tailor very soon as well. I believe this one is on wheat as well, so we've got 3 making wheat and 3 making pumpkins. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to be affecting things. Again, if you do know the differences between the crops, do let me know down in the comments below. Something I was asking in the last episode as well. It's just I'm not really too sure what the full differences between them. I have noticed things like beans and all that grow faster than, for example, wheat, but I'm not entirely certain what the actual difference really is. So if you do know, let me know down in the comments. You can actually see just the difference between the medieval buildings and the original. So we've got the Gatherer's Hut here, and that's actually one of the vanilla game buildings, but you can see the medieval town building here. So of course if we have stone buildings and so on, they will actually fit the decor a little bit better, but you can see it doesn't actually look that far out of place. I mean, the style of it is still very, very similar. And we of course have that anvil outside with the quenching barrel there. And we do have the a nice little forge right here as well. So that actually looks quite nice. Now the tailor next door is still being built, so that's going to take just a little bit longer. We have only 1 builder on it at the moment. But they should be done with it quite fast. I'm going to speed things up and see how we get along with that. Alright, and there it is. That's the building done. So we have a couple of, I think they're scarecrows, but I think in this case they are actually supposed to be like mannequins or something. But yeah, that's a tailor's shop right there. It doesn't look too bad as well. It's just a typical sort of building, really. Of course, there will be like clothing shops that we can put down in future as well. So a lot more things are still to come. Hopefully we do get there. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to get there. You can actually see the wheat and pumpkins are now starting to grow. So a lot of farmers now tending to the fields here. You can see the wheat actually sort of growing and coming up now. You can see our roads being built as well. So everything seems to be going our way for now. I think we can actually get rid of that builder there. And have them go back to being labourers. In fact, I could even assign 1 person to be a tailor, which could actually be quite useful for us. Now, here's something as well that the Medieval Town mod has added. If we look at the sort of requirements here, these have actually changed. So we can make wool coats out of wool, we can make hide coats out of cotton, we can even make it out of a combination of leather and cotton as well. And it will show you the cost per unit as well, which is something the base game didn't do. It just showed you what it would use, but not how much of it actually uses. So very, very useful sort of breakdown here, and of course a lot more options. So because can make warm coats out of cotton and leather, but I think we're going to make hide coats out of leather, since that is basically all we have right now. Cotton, of course, being something that you can grow on the farms, and that's actually quite useful. Now, you have the cotton fields instead of just having crops being grown in the farms for food. You now have crops that you can grow for materials as well. So all very, very useful stuff. Alright, now one thing that I've never fully understood is how the Forester Lodge actually works. It seems like they are very proficient at planting the trees, but when it comes to cutting them down, doesn't really seem to work so well. Even when I've assigned maximum workers to the Forester Lodge, they don't seem to gather that many logs. Now, it is a sort of steady flow of logs, and it's not a huge amount, but at the same time, it's still not great in terms of production, so definitely relying on it for resources doesn't seem to be that useful. What I have been using them for instead, of course, is allowing the labourers to just clear the area and then letting the Forester Lodge just replant them. And that seems to work quite well year to year, but on its own, left to its own devices, it really doesn't seem to do a hell of a lot. Maybe I'm using these incorrectly, maybe I need to manage them a little bit better. If you do know, feel free to let me know as well. Alright, it's getting high time that we expand, and I feel like we want to have a look at some of these medieval town buildings. I haven't shown you guys any of these. So we have these medieval houses now, and these are quite interesting. So they're quite big, and they are effectively stone houses. What we can actually do with these is you can also make second floor residences, so you can build them on top of each other. You can also build a third floor residence, which looks a little bit strange, I will admit. It does look a little bit strange. But something like that could sit right on top of another building without any issue. In fact, I can put this over the barn, really, if I wanted to, and it would look a little bit strange, but it would actually fit. So what I could do is put a second floor corner residence, something like this, on top of here, and that would go just fine, I think. Yeah, we could actually do that. Which is a little bit odd. I don't know if these are actually sort of accurate to what housing looked like in medieval times. I mean, I wasn't there, so I wouldn't really know. But it does look like it has the styling right, maybe. But I don't know if necessarily that's a thing. And these, of course, can stack on top of each other as far as I know. So, yeah, it's a very odd thing. I'm going to put this one down over here. Because I just think it looks nice in that little corner there. But it's just great that you can actually do that. And we, of course, have the hostels as well. We can do multiple floors of these. And they don't look too different, which is probably the only downside, is that they look like the normal medieval houses. So finding out where your boarding houses and where your normal houses are is probably going to be a little bit difficult. But aside from that, it seems to be quite nice. And of course, they don't look too out of place next to a regular stone house, which of course costs a little bit less to build. So definitely very interesting stuff there. Now, the boarding houses from the base game are actually quite large, so of course having a hostel instead sometimes could be quite useful if you're just short on space. So of course we do have the resources, so I'm going to put down a couple of these medieval houses here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to back them onto each other here, maybe. Just trying to think if I want to make a little street going down here, maybe a double wide street there, something like that. You got a couple of variations of these houses as well. So we'll just have 3 houses going down like that. I don't know if I placed that correctly now. I do want everything to sort of look quite nice. So they're sort of aligned in a way. Which is of course hard if you're trying to keep those spaces there. And this is going to be their road going through, and I'm going to have another one going through like that. So that's sort of our main street, if you will. And of course we're going to have a little road going behind there, another one going behind there, and just going through. There is a little bit of a slope there, which sort of looks very strange. There is a sort of bump in the ground here, which I'm not entirely sure why that's there, but that's a thing. It's definitely there. Now then, one of the other things that we can also do with the buildings here is we can actually have root cellars. We can even have a granary as well. So there's a lot of different storage options there. I want to actually put a barn here so that the citizens in this area actually have easy access to food. The problem is getting one of the right size. I think just a little bit of standoff distance here might look okay. Just have a little road going in front of it, just like that. Nobody's really going to notice, I think. And then we'll have one road going behind it. So, of course, I'm going to get the builders back again. We still only have one labourer, but that's going to be fine. Once the farms are built, then they can get onto building this stuff. So the next... Well, it is actually year 3 already. But the next year, they'll be able to hopefully procreate more efficiently. Now, I think we might have had the right idea, actually, at the beginning, putting the gatherer's hut right next to the storage barn. I know that normally you want these a bit further away, but it seems like that actually has helped, because we are getting the food in a lot faster than we normally would, at least in my other playthroughs. Definitely, it seems like the time spent moving between the areas is actually, because it's greatly reduced, is actually quite alright. So, definitely quite happy with that. Alright, and we're well into the summer now, and another kid has grown up, so we have an extra labourer now. So stuff is going to be coming in a little bit quicker. I have noticed we are probably going to be running low on a few resources, which is fine, because we can just harvest this lot right here, because this is going to go away eventually, and I think it's not going to be too much of an issue. And there it is, just while I was talking then, the medieval house is actually done, and we have a few different styles. One of the things that I really like about this mod is that you can actually rebuild it if you want to have a different look. So if I want it to have a sort of different roof, I can actually click that and it will rebuild it with the other materials. Some of these do actually cost different materials, and they also have better... These are actually upgrades as well, so not only do they visually look different, they also have a sort of different warmth factor, which is something that you do want to consider. So, looking at the resources they cost, some of them don't cost that much. Like this base model here, I believe, is what we actually have to begin with. Actually doesn't cost that many resources, but you look at the others, and there's another resource there that I don't recognize. I believe that might actually be clay. So, that's something that you do want to consider. So, one of the things about this mod as well is that because it adds new resources, sometimes you do have to sort of learn again what resources you need. Right, we are running low on stone, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. We do have quite a lot of stone deposits around the area, so I'm just going to mark some for clearing like so. And hopefully our labourers can get onto it. We do have 2 of them now, after all. And of course, getting more houses means more families and more food going away, but it looks like we are actually gaining food per year, and with the farms still having, you know, having to be harvested, I think we're actually going to be quite alright. I'm hoping that this barn over here actually helps with the food transferring in some way, so we don't have them travelling all the way to the storage barn. We can actually have them transport it to here instead, and of course this will help to feed everybody down here. Alright, it's late summer and now it's harvesting season, and you can see the farmers are now busy in the fields granting these huge pumpkins. I mean, these are world record holding pumpkins, I gotta say. Who's our farmer over here? We've got Skylee, who's 28 and has a pumpkin to harvest that's pretty much the size of her entire body. So, you know what? I don't think people are going to go hungry. If you have these pumpkins in your house, you're going to be just fine, especially when Halloween comes around. I mean, you can basically decorate the entire house with just one pumpkin with the size of these. So we're not going to have too many issues there. And with these wheat as well, I'm not entirely certain how much they actually yield, but they're going to get pretty close to harvesting very soon. Now, I'm allocating the remaining labourers to be farmers for now, because I am actually quite worried that they're not going to harvest this in time. I'm going to speed this up and see if they're actually able to. I think, honestly, 6 farmers for this area should be enough, but you know what, I don't quite trust it. So let's not run out or waste the food for now. And hopefully they do get to harvest it soon. Now, of course, this barn is not built yet, so that's a bit of an issue. I think if we have 7 farmers instead of 1 person hopefully building this, then maybe we'll be able to do that. But we are out of stone, so that's not going to happen. Alright, so it is early autumn, and hopefully the snow doesn't come in early this time. I think we should be okay if that doesn't happen. It is raining, though. But having a supply of wheat and having a supply of pumpkins is definitely going to keep us going throughout the winter. I mean, look at the amount of food we've got stored away now. It's well, almost, I think we're going to have well over 2,000 at this point from these fields. And of course, with the Gatherer's Hut still working through the winter, I don't think we're going to have issues with food this time around. So we've got one problem out of the way, but resources like stone are definitely still going to be a problem. Alright, and winter is about to hit. We finally got this house actually up, so we've got 2 new houses, so you can actually have a look at it. These are actually very, very nice looking houses. They're a little bit square, but you know what, I think medieval houses probably did look like that. You know, you don't have the fancy sort of colonial era houses that you do see nowadays, or even the Federation style houses. I don't even know what I'm saying. These are words that I've picked up over the years. But medieval housing probably did look something like this, I'd like to imagine. You can see the nice little sort of flowers and window boxes and things, and I mean, this building here, I mean, this is a house, but it sort of looks like a tavern almost, with its sort of lamp out the front, and its sort of big heavy wooden door at the front. Kind of looks a little bit like what a rich person's house would look like, right on the corner next to the farms as well. I guess that's what they would look like. I mean, this could be the mayor's house for all I know. But it definitely does look very, very nice. Only one thing, they don't seem to be burning firewood. They do have firewood. I don't see any smoke coming out, so maybe they don't need it. I could be wrong on that. Maybe I didn't notice it when it was coming out, but maybe there's no smoke on these chimneys. Either way, though, it's still very, very nicely designed. I do like the look of it. Of course, all the houses going forward, we're going to try and stick to this style as much as possible and kind of keep things that way. Probably going to be maybe upgrading everything else to the stone houses and see how we get along with that. So these wooden houses eventually will probably have to go away. We can actually just click to upgrade, which is great, so we don't really need to evict anybody. Now we are stuck for gathering stone a little bit at the moment, so I'm just going to speed it up a little bit by grabbing all of this. We do have a lot of stone in our area though, so I mean, it shouldn't be too big of a problem if we start upgrading to stone houses. But, you know, I'm not going to push it too much too soon. After all, this game really just rewards a bit of patience. As much as I would like to see all of these nice houses, but really it just doesn't seem like the best idea to immediately do it. Alright, the last of the harvest is coming in now. It's late autumn and the snow has just started to fall, so we do have the frost now getting to these the wheat here, and we're going to run the risk of it actually just getting frostbite and dying. With wheat, of course, being the slowest thing to really harvest, it is quite a risk having that much of it, I think. Well, look at this, with the amount of food we have over 3,000 food now, so really, I think we're on the right track here with these farms. Now, how are we doing for clothing? We do have 12 clothes stored, so we have hide coats. So just have a look at what we have here. Everyone's clothing seems to be fair, I think. Not really too many issues there. This is the tailor, of course, being a labourer because there's no materials to work with. So everybody's well clothed, really. So I don't think we're going to have too many issues there. With the clothing for now. We have enough tools. In fact, I don't think we need that many tools stored away. I'm going to have to lower the limit on this. So you really do need to micromanage a little bit. I'm just going to put it at 30, simply because there really isn't a need to have that many tools. We only have 30 people, and of which 22 are working, so we don't really need all those tools around. Right, the farmers shouldn't have too many issues finishing all of that off, so I'm going to assign the rest of them to start gathering materials. I think we could look at maybe removing some of these trees here so we have some more logs saved away. And definitely sending them out to get more stone. That seems to be sort of the thing. Just kind of searching the area nearby the village. We can probably get that stone there. Just trying not to send them out too far. After all, it is winter. and just having them collect near to the village. Alright, it is early winter. These last little bit of wheat might actually die. I don't know if they're going to, though. They are starting to die, yeah. You can see it's dropping to 4% as well, 3%. They are dying very, very quickly. So whatever little is left is now gone. That's unfortunate. So, well, we do know that, I guess, next season we are going to have these harvested just a little bit quicker. Now, what's interesting is, even though we're going through winter, we are actually gaining food still. So we're going to have a lot of food saved away for the future, which I think is going to be a very, very, very good thing. Because really, I don't want a case of, where we have to worry about it. We're getting really into the middle of winter now. So, Gatherer's Hunt, we've still got 2 out of 4, and they really are gathering a lot of food. Alright, and as we head into the end of Year 3, into the start of Year 4, I'm going to leave this one here. This is the Medieval Town mod in Banished, and we're still in the humble beginnings of the city. We're about 30 in the population right now, 33 actually. And the city isn't definitely going to have a room to grow. 6 fields in the middle, really dominating the place, and just having a nice little overview of the place. I mean, this part still needs some development. We're going to have the village extend in this area as well. So we're going to have the backs of the houses kind of this way, with a little alleyway in between, all that good stuff. But, yeah, I'm going to leave that one there for now, and I will see you guys in the next episode. My name is Panzer. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you're enjoying the video and the series. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you next time.